Good humans. All right. Or maybe they're serial killer psychopaths. I don't know. I don't really know that. I don't know people that well. Joe Fernandez, what's up? Pre-skate fanatics, sup? Brady, Luis, hola. Jimmy James, biotech breakout on both sides of the fence. Yeah, Warren Buffett. Warren. Oh. Well, you know what? No one gets it all right. Patsy, Suze. Oh, good question. Can you go over the next steps? No, because I've figured out, and this is not just one person's told. I've become an enabler, guys, gals, pronouns. I'm not doing everything for you. Go to the telegrams, learn how to do this stuff. I'll give you the philosophy. I'll give you the mental, some little life hack tricks to navigate cognitive bias, some good basic psychology, some game theory, some critical thinking, some economics, both macro and micro. And I'll tell you what I think of these assets. But what I won't help you do is click effing buttons. You have to do that. If you want me to do that, it's $800 an hour, like all of my corporate clients pay. And I know you don't want to do that. So since we don't want to pay $800 an hour, go to the telegrams, go to the discords, and learn how to function in the crypto space. I'm not going to walk you guys through that. I will lead you to the water. You have to go and test it and sterilize it and put it in a cup and hit it with the blue light and drink it. It's on you. Crypto for life. What's up? Expat Matt. Bernard. El Paul. What up? And oh man, it skipped. I was doing so good. It skipped. Anyway, Michael, JD, Johnny Midas. What up? Hoop and Tony. Patsy again. Yes. Ooh, Ontario. I bet it's cold as heck over there. James, what's up? Phil, do not drive in oncoming traffic, Phil. Don't do it. Nesh. What up, Red? Tim, Michael. Let's see. And some of these I'm going to repeat, but that's fine. Scorpion, Tiffany, Dubai money. My buddy's just leaving Dubai right now. He's getting on a plane. Alex, we had some pretty good meetings. We roped in some cash. Lots of it. Let's see. Adelaide Luna, what's up? EOJK, what up? Good to see you guys over on Theta. Crypto for Life. And Yo Fernandez, Spirella. Okay. That's pretty much, that's the core team. If I haven't said hello, I will say hello. Okay, what are we going to talk about today? Well, there's a couple of things kind of interesting. We are going to talk about, we'll do a price review. I'll explain to you guys why I think Bitcoin is S-ing to bed. It has to do with number 2, which is the GOX settlement. Yes, we talked about this a year ago. We talked about it 8 months ago. We talked about it 4 months ago. We talked about it 4 days ago. It is coming, but it's not quite as it seems. A lot of people are panicking right now. Bitcoin's down 6%. The settlement. People are they're going to sell some of their Bitcoin that they've had for locked up when Mark Karpellis and whoever his gang was tried to steal everything from everyone. And yeah, they're getting their tokens back, and some of them are going to sell. Obviously, some of them are going to sell. They lost their Bitcoin at less than 1,000, and it's at 62. They got a 62x, even if they only got a quarter of their. Anyway, we'll talk about it. Should they be able to sell their tokens? You're GD right. They should. It is their right, bro. Many of them have a 62, 70, 100x, 1,000x on their money. I hope they sell them, because this is the last overhang for Bitcoin. There is no more China. There's no more anything. It's only, the settlement. Yeah, those couple 100,000 tokens. Bro, we're going to talk about the Bitcoin ETF absorbing $1 billion, and it is a piece of garbage, as we talked about on Tuesday. The ProShares ETF is dumpster juice. If you bought it, you're an idiot. Everybody, buddy, Vic, I know you're out there. This is a message for Vic. Victor, if you and your buddies bought this ETF by ProShares, you are dumb. Stop, sell it, unwind that crap. These ETFs are for trading, not for investing. When we get a physically settled, spot price based ETF, like what Grayscale will become probably pretty soon, then you invest. But right now, this product is garbage, and it absorbed, it swelled up $1 billion. That's pretty good. It's one of the most popular ETF openings of all time. I think it's the second most popular, and by volume, the number one most popular. We will look into that. We're going to talk about the people over at Facebook. They're great. So all these regulators are saying, listen, they're still scared to death of Facebook. They're like, no, can you guys just stop building DM and stop building your stable? And they're like, the DM people are like, hey, we're not Facebook. You're talking to the wrong people. He's like, you're talking to my old neighbors. I don't live there anymore. You're telling them to tell the dude that lives there now to not to mow the yard or something, or to mow the yard because the hedges are too high. I don't live there, bro. So we'll talk about that. And JP Morgan says inflation equals Bitcoin up. Does JP Morgan understand inflation? You think they would. We'll see. We'll see. One of the most sketchy, profligate, backhanded, underhanded, squandering, stepping on immigrants' necks banks in the system, JP Morgan. Part of that cohort, by the way, that charged immigrants, mostly disproportionately immigrants, $11.5 billion, $11.5 billion in overdraft fees. And it was disproportionately directed at immigrants trying to send money home to their families. Thanks, JP. Curious to see what you have to say. Okay, cool. So I think that gets it. TWD kill SFB. I know that means something. The Walking Dead kills Facebook, maybe? I don't know. I'm just reading into that. Codeman Deluxe, good to see you. Expert Man 13. Expert Man and Codeman, if they got together, that's a crypto project. Okay. So anyway, we'll talk about all this, and we'll do some of your questions and this and that right after these. Now look, it's not going to be too, hey, Walking Dead kills Facebook. I'm actually really good friends. For those of you that, let me know if you're fans, not Facebook fans. No one's a fan of Facebook. If you're fans of The Walking Dead, one of my buddies was on the show for a long time. And so I probably shouldn't say who it is, but anyway, I'll just say this. He got killed by Negan when he bashed his head in with Lucille. You'll know what that means. And he had red hair. That's all I can say. And that his name was Abraham, and that his real name is Michael Cudlitz. That's all I can say, but I don't want to give away who it is. Anyway, so, okay. Let's go to these non-commercial, commercial, non-commercial breaks, which, by the way, that could be changing. We may be doing some interesting kind of partnership-y kind of. I've decided that I'm open to working with platforms that I like. I'm open to working with people that push the discussion forward in the crypto space rather than revert it backwards. So if we can find those kinds of partnerships, I might be open to it. So anyway, we'll see. We might not just be a non-branded channel forever, but we will be a free channel. In that I'm not going to serve ads against this thing. You're not. And if you see ads served against this YouTube content, it ain't me, bro. I'm not doing it because I have this thing unmonetized. I don't want their dirty money. I don't want their dirty money. All right. So yeah, let's go ahead and take our non-commercial, our beautiful non-commercial break. Quick shout out to Gino. What up, Gino? Hope Alamine's not too red after I chastise his project that he likes. That's just between everybody, earmuffs. Everyone that's not Gino, earmuffs. Gino, that project that he likes is dumpster juice. Just between me and you, bro. Just me and Gino talking here. Dumpster juice. Okay, back to the broadcast. We have a friend that he's actually really, really intelligent, and he's a banker. And I know those two things don't usually go together. Let me say, Adam, what's up, man? What up? What up? I got to get Adam to come back on. Hopefully next week, if you can come on, Adam, I'd love to hear kind of what's going on on the stake pool side of the ecosystem. And I'm betting you know more about Hydra than the rest of us. And I think people should talk about that. Ashley, what up? Good to see you. Agadukes, good to see you. I like the twerking alien, by the way. Let's see. Kahuna Badman. But sometimes I get these right. Sometimes I butcher them. JJ, what's up? Crypto for Life, what's up? Okay, let's get to it. So let's talk prices really quick. Yes, the market's selling off. Well, we've been going straight up for an effing 3 weeks. So was a lot of this cooked in? Did Bitcoin was Bitcoin overbought for the product that this is? Partially, I think. People were thinking this was something else. This isn't the ETF we need, but it's the ETF we have. Now, everybody's like, oh my gosh, we're all the way down to 62,007. Listen, if this thing goes down to 55, 58,000, fine. Let it clear out some of the excess, some of the exuberance, and Bitcoin will do what it does. Nothing moves in a straight line. It's down 6% today. Most all of that is because of the article I'm going to read to you guys about the GOX settlement. Everybody to know this is an overhang. It's the last overhang. The other minor overhang would be a tether unwind. But guess what? A tether unwind would not hurt Bitcoin. A tether unwind would help Bitcoin, because if you're in tether and you like crypto and tether starts to have some really big, fast, catastrophic sell-off, which no one cares, by the way, that tether is not capitalized. No one cares, period. But if anyone cared and the regulators came in, they stepped on tether and it sucked up that fake liquidity of that fake money, then USDC, Paxos, and they would step in and everything would be fine. However, what an unwind would look like, in my opinion, is a rush into Bitcoin. Because if you believe in crypto and you're holding tether, where else are you going to go? You're going to go Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano. If you're a creep, BNB, and if you don't know what you're going to do, you might even. But you're going to go to the like the big three, right? And no one really looks at Binance Smart Chain as being a chain. No one actually looks at it that way, except for a couple of rubes over at Binance. No one else. No one is not fair. Very few people look at that as a real project. They look at it as a, hey, listen, it's better to move stuff across Binance chain than it is Ethereum project. It's a, hey, they burn tons of tokens, which looks a lot like a security project. Oh, by the way, BNB, Binance Smart Chain, that it is 100% a security. They burn the tokens to jack the price. You buy the token only for the reason that the token goes up. It's a security. It will look in the same way that they're kicking Binance out of every effing country and chasing him around like playing whack-a-mole with CZ. They're going to go after that. You guys know this, right? Like this isn't exciting to anyone. We all know this. They will absolutely go after that token. Any of these projects that have a programmatic token burn, they're going to be regulated as, they're going to be stamped as securities. You all know this. So keep that in the back of your mind. And a lot of times when you're looking at these assets, now that doesn't mean that there's some of these things are not a play, right? You could play it. There's a quasi junkie project that's floating around the Cardano ecosystem right now, a lending platform that people are like, yeah, you should buy it. And and I said, I'm sure the token will do fine, but the company looks stupid. Well, I'm not going to do it. I'm not, and this is not one of those rich or right type things. I don't know how to time a little meme pumpy thing. And I'm not going to risk that, because I try to imagine that my client's money is my money, and I'm not going to play whack-a-mole or dodge the regulators or whatever with my client's funds. That's not good. and I would be bad as a fiduciary. So I've just made a choice about which assets I will and won't buy, which is what keeps me away from the DeFi space, because you essentially have a few, risks if you're entering DeFi. Not counting regulatory risk. I guess that's another risk, but you have the risk of the rug pull where the developers jack the project or they suck out liquidity and then they just disappear, right? That's just straight thievery. You have the risk of the flash loan advantage. I'm not even going to call it an attack because it's not an attack. It's just taking advantage of bad, poorly written junior unaudited code. And so when someone flash advantages a platform, they're sucking out money by repricing collateral and doing all sorts of cool things all at once. Boom. So that's an attack-ish. That's at least someone coming after your funds. Then you have the fact that just low liquidity could create could present an environment where there could be a drop in liquidity based on a natural repricing event of a token, like a pool that has USDT in it. USDT has some kind of unwind, and that creates a liquidity issue with you, and you end up with one or the other tokens being worth dust, and then in the arbitrage to rejigger that liquidity pool, you have something that looks nasty. So we would call that maybe a black swan rug pull, right? Like the world has rug pulled you, not any one individual. Whether it's we could have the regulator rug pull, we could have the developer rug pull, and then we could have the environment, the landscape rug pull. And it could even come from bad code and things like this. Just a huge malfunction, a fat thumb event. Matter of fact, the more I talk about this, the more DeFi is unsettling for the casual investor. I don't think anybody that's in this space needs to be in these DeFi projects to do incredibly well. Will some of these projects do well? Absolutely. Will some of them create tons of money? Yup. But there are so many that get nuked. I just don't know if it's right now. I don't know where you would put your money and feel safe when you can just buy these protocol layers and sit and wait and get paid to wait. So with Bitcoin specifically, another one of these overhangs, psychological overhangs, financial overhangs, one of them is the GOX settlement. And that scared some people last night. You have low liquidity conditions and all this everybody's out. Guess who's not out? No one in the institutional space that bought in is out. Oh, GOX. Everyone, almost everyone, I should not make absolute statements. Almost everyone knows about this GOX deal. By the way, GOX stands for Magic the Gathering Online Exchange. Mark Karpeles is the CEO who bought the company from Jed McCaleb, who ran it on his laptop, by the way, the biggest Bitcoin exchange in the world. He ran it on his laptop. And then he lost, like 850,000 tokens. Oh, they got me. I've been hacked. No, Mark, you weren't hacked. You stole it. Because the minute they locked him up, he found 200,000 tokens. Oh, you mean, hey, I found some. Oh, did you find some, Mark? Did you find some tokens? Did you find 200,000 Bitcoin that you thought was gone? You just found them. What a dick. My guess is that guy doesn't make the tour circuit because I'm guessing he has a lot of people that would like to punch him in the left eye. Okay. So yes, this is good in the same way that it was good when China cracked down. No more miners. Okay, thanks. Bye. Bye, China. How benevolent of you. How kind of you to free the crypto space of your arch nemesis freaking position. So good. China's gone. Deuces, whatever the word for deuces is, you idiots. Whoever convinced China to let go of Bitcoin mining, and I'm sure you have all sorts of great reasons why you did it. Stupid. No, there's no argument that makes sense. What you have is a breakdown in the understanding of digital assets. Who will use the DCEP, the digital currency for electronic payments, if they could just use Bitcoin? Well, that doesn't change. But by banning it or banning Bitcoin mining, you don't do anything but lose control of the network. That's your greatest enemy. You dummies. China, you blew it on this one. And I'm sure you have a lot of oh, no, it's not about that. So, yeah, I get it. Stupid decision, period. All right. So yeah, Bitcoin's down a little bit, but 63,000 is still up 10% on the week. So is it down? Little bit. All right. Ethereum, 4Gs, it's up on the day. It's having a nice day. And listen, everything that's not down 5.3% is up. So Ethereum's up about 6%, really. If you think about it, Cardano, it got up to as high as like 228. It kind of bounced down. It's Charles and the team are being pretty quiet, kind of tight-lipped about what's been happening in Africa. I don't expect that to continue. I do expect some communication. And when said communication comes, my guess is people will get enthusiastic. We will see. But right now, all eyes on Bitcoin. Polkadot, $42. It's doing pretty good. So again, you've got to add 5.3 points to all these to really see where they're at. So Cardano's doing good. Polkadot's doing good. Yeah, it looks red. Doesn't matter. It's doing good. Algorand, doing good. VeChain, oddly enough, doing good. Matic's doing fine. Everything's doing fine. Who's doing really fine? Well, Near is doing really fine. Remember, Coinbase is going to be buying. They're going to be taking, I believe it's 10%. Who knows? They might massage those numbers, but about 10% of their, I don't know if it's pre-tax profit. I don't know how they do that, but 10% of the money they make is going to go into buying up digital assets. Which ones do you think they will defer to? Right? You gave BlackRock money. They bought their own fund. Matter of fact, you gave them COVID funds. You gave them COVID relief funds. They bought their own junk bond funds. No one goes to jail, of course, because people don't go to jail like Jerome Powell. And let's see, the two Fed chiefs that departed the Fed within 24 hours of it being discovered they were trading on proprietary information. Jerome Powell trading books a $50,000 or $100,000 profit just days before the crash. And why was the crash? Well, crash was because people were panicking in October of last year because there was no deal. Who knew there was no deal? Oh, Jerome Powell, who had met with the White House 4 times that day. But no, he probably didn't know. It was just probably his time to get out of the market, right? I don't know how many millions of dollars he was trading in and out, but I feel like that sucks. I feel like that's a little sketch, but you know what? People don't go to jail anymore for sketchy behavior. So my guess is there is no second term for Jerome Powell. Bye. You can go hang out with Bernanke and tell everyone, all of these ignorant idiots, that you saved the world with your liquidity provisions, even though you didn't make a single dollar enter the economy. Not once, not never. Both of those douchebags are liars. Yellen, at least she doesn't tell people they put money into the economy. I kind of don't mind Yellen. I don't agree with everything she says, but she's very precise with her words. Maybe that's a function of working at the Treasury now. I don't know. Graph token, pretty good day. And again, I don't own any Graph token. I like the project. I've expressed this. I just don't know how to price a project that's not all that interesting for investors. I don't know how we do that. Yeah. So 1 inch, doing pretty good, 7%. It's not bad. Who else is doing good? Rune, back in the house. All right. Nexo up 12, almost 13%. I don't know if there's been something new at Nexo other than their little news function, which is pretty cool. They curate news. And unlike Blockfolio that only curates FTX news, weird that they got bought by FTX and now every other article is about FTX. Guess what, everyone? FTX is not doing anything interesting. Let me ask you this, because they raised $420 million yesterday. Well, they finished raising $420 million from 69 investors. If you're spending $1.5 billion on naming rights, sponsoring Tom Brady, sports-related sponsors that have nothing at all to do. Tom Brady saying I use FTX exchange. Tom Brady saying I bought Bitcoin. It means nothing. Do you think the people in the stands at NASCAR or watching a football game on the aggregate give a crap what Tom Brady says about Bitcoin? They go, you know what, Margaret? Now we're buying it. The last 12 years, I wasn't going to do it. But now that Tom Brady's buying Bitcoin, that's all I need to know. And where am I going to go to do it? FTP. Wait, that's oil. FTX. Come on, dude. So they spent over $1 billion on naming rights, stadium naming rights to a NASCAR team. They bought $100 and something million on a League of Legends team, sponsoring a League of Legends team. League of Legends. Cool. My buddy plays League of Legends competitively. He's dope. But $100+ million. And then they want to go and take private money. Oh, we need some money. What do you mean you need some money? Why do you need any money? You just spent $1 billion+ on a race car, a stadium, 2 idiots, 3 idiots, 7 idiots, and a massage parlor and a freaking, I mean, it just boggles the mind. But, oh, wait, but they need to go take private money. What kind of dumbass investor gives them money after seeing what they are doing? I'm going to give you money for your exchange. Awesome. What are you going to do with it? Go buy NFTs, falsify a pump on Solana. What else do I need to do? We'll just go out and buy a bunch of people in Discord. We'll go out and sponsor a bunch of Twitter groups and do giveaway scams and all this kind of, dude, and go sponsor some little league teams. And I don't know, there's some obscure sport in Australia where they throw spiders at each other. We should go sponsor that for $190 million. There's your $420 million. So each one of the 69 investors in the new $420 million that invested in Sam Fried Chicken, you guys are idiots. That is it. Telcoin. I met one of their developers. Here's what I can tell you about Telcoin. The price might go up. It's cheap and people love cheap stuff. This is a company full of rubes, bro. Rubes. OGN, cool project, but I don't think I don't think they found a way to kind of reach out and touch people at some point. And I don't mean that in the creepy, like, you know, old man that you don't let your kids around kind of way. Yeah, Hoop and Tony, I'm serious. It was 420 million. It was like 420.69 million to 69 investors because Bankman thinks he's really figured out marketing. He's such an idiot. Oh, this guy's a dick. He's probably going to buy up. He's probably going to buy up every single place, every media outlet that I work with, just so that they will fire me. Well, okay, bro, that's why I got crypto. So I don't worry about getting fired. Which is actually, there's a funny story, an anecdotal story, which I will not tell you, but it has to do with that. So never mind. Fetch is actually up a little bit. Yes, there was the big event where yesterday you could start staking Fetch or if you're staking Fetch, you link it. You link your Cosmos Station to the Fetch Hub. That's the easiest way to say it. You link Cosmos Station to Fetch Hub. You scroll down on Fetch Hub once your wallet is connected, and you can just click a button to start getting the airdrop. And it just starts accumulating. Over the next 2 months, you will get given tokens. The cool news is it wasn't a single moment in time. I think as long as you kind of go and click the buttons and do all this kind of stuff. And again, I say, go to the Fetch Telegram group because they do have good information and tons of good Medium articles that will walk you through the process. I worked my way through it. Nara worked her way through it. A lot of us have worked our way through it, and we're getting these little free tokens. Now, is the Mobix project worth going through all that? I mean, it's free tokens, right? Is it worth the effort? Probably not, because the project looks, I mean, if we're being honest, really effing stupid. We're going to pay you tokens that we've created out of thin air to ride a scooter. What? We're going to pay you tokens that we've created out of thin air to walk instead of drive to save the ozone. How about that? It's so stupid. So, but you should do it. You should go through the process because you need to get comfortable bouncing around these exchanges. I want you guys to really focus on the technical skills for navigating the crypto space. And I can't help you do that. I get a lot of emails. Hey, walk me through this. No, I'm not walking you through nothing, because that's not what this is. Right? There's all sorts of things I can help you with, but the little technical nuances of clicking a button and this and that and stuff, bro, no. You guys got to figure this out, because the whole point of all this is that you learn how to be a competent fiduciary. Everybody here, if you own 10 cents worth of crypto, guess what? You are a hedge fund manager. You have the same rights, responsibilities, and you're going to need to develop the critical thinking skills and the technical savvy. I have a friend of mine who's a software developer, smart guy, and I say, hey, how to do this? He goes, go learn, go to Google University, stupid. I'm like, why won't you just tell me? And of course, the answer is in the question, isn't it? So don't rely on other people for technical things like this. Oh, how do I touch a button? You touch a button. How do I touch 6 of them? You touch 6 of them. You want to know the sequence? Go to the groups. Go to YouTube University. Go do your homework. Come on. Don't use people as a crutch. That's lazy. Don't drive angry, and don't drive lazy. All right. Audius, nothing magical there. And I am losing faith in Audius, if we're being honest. That's another discussion for another time. Render, I do like the project, but I worry that Render will be out-rendered by NewNet. I think NewNet is going to do what Render does, but not just for one specific task-oriented field or something like that. It will do it for the whole planet, the whole everything. And what frustrates me about NewNet is that, man, my buddy and I had talked about something like NewNet years ago, but technology wasn't there. We just kind of looked around like, how on earth? And the ramp up would be massive. And how do you incentivize enough people to get on to make a difference and all? But anyway, Singularity DAO, I do like. And after this show, because I don't want to front run anyone, I'm going to buy some Singularity Net. I'm going to buy also some AGIX, a big fat pile of it. Why? Because I think they're unloved. The staking on Singularity DAO, and this is look, we don't have Dynasets yet. And that's the thing we're really looking forward to, is when they release Dynasets, hopefully late December. And so the price is $2.25. You're like, oh man, it's so expensive. Well, on one exchange, at one point, it touched $11 in the last 6 months. So is $2.26 expensive? Well, not for me, right? You price it where you believe it is going. I price it where I believe it's going. But I will tell you this, I'm not going to make price speculation, but I could see when Dynasets come and the minimal amount of tokens that are available and the fact that tons of them are staked, including mine, and the rewards they offer on staking are stupid. Now I get it. It's in their magical tokens. So that doesn't really mean anything, but it's still cool. Get paid to wait. I think this is a $40 or $50 token. At least that's the way I look at it as I'm pricing it for myself. Why am I buying this? I'm buying this for 40 or $50. And it just happens to be priced at 226. Cool. I like that. You may not. That's part of the process. Man, the man token, I don't mean like man, but I mean man, the token, Matrix AI Network, one of the scammiest, spammiest, crummiest, barely quasi-AI projects with just very little brain power involved. But it's cheap. And if you look at the other AI tokens, if there's a rush into AI, which I believe will happen, it could be years from now, or it could be next year, or it could be 3 months from now. But when there is, people go price fishing. You guys all know this, gals, pronouns. You know that people go price shopping, and it's counterintuitive, and it's flawed, and it's wrong-minded, and they do it every time. And when they do it, junky tokens rocket. Right? So do you want to be right? You can be rich. So yeah, I have some. I'm sitting on them. I think I got them at probably right around here, 5 cents, something like that. It's a tiny little market cap. It's a crappy company. Are they ever going to amount to anything? Well, I don't know. Maybe they use what limited funds they have to hire somebody, but it's tiny market cap. It'd be very easy to move this project up. It'd be very easy to pervert the price. Let's put it that way. Songbird. Okay, for those of you that own SGB, you got it given to you or gifted. Hopefully you didn't buy it, but if you own it, on November 5th, they're doing a snapshot. I believe, I know it's on BitTrue. I know on BitTrue they're doing it. But anyway, there's a snapshot on BitTrue for Songbird, and you would get however many Songbird you have. I believe you get some percentage of that based on what the allocation was. If they gave you 10,000 and you sold 5,000 and you held 5,000, you get 5,000 of some other token, some XFL. It's a Flare-based spammy, made up token that they just sprinkle on people to keep people excited, because the people at Flare do nothing, have done nothing, have created nothing. But I will say this about the Flare, the community around Flare. Okay. For all the reasons I think Flare is terrible, the community is not terrible. And this may be valuable, not for Songbird's case, well, maybe indirectly, but the community is incredibly helpful. And they're very nice, and it's very rare. I see that in Cardano. I see that in Polkadot. There's a couple of communities where the people are just really cool. I see it in Algorand. I see it in Flare. So as much as I think the project is dumb, it's stupid, it's spammy and all this kind of stuff, the people involved, the community people, the admins, the people that manage they have a Discord, they have a Twitter presence, they have a presence on Telegram. They're incredibly cool. And you know what? I like cool people. So I want Flare to succeed, because, and this is like, we live in LA, right? Like here in the business, you see a lot of bad writers. I came to LA to be a writer, right? To see how that worked out. But you see a lot of people that really shouldn't be working in the business. They're terrible. Well, you guys have seen television lately. Every other thing you watch is terrible. It's terrible. But because they want to work with people they like. And so most times you'd rather work with someone you like than someone that's good. Right? Because sometimes good people, they know they're good and they're dicks. You don't want to work with them. You're like, no, that guy's a douche, or that chick's mean, man. Like, so, but the people at Flare are cool. So that being said, I hope Flare does good. And yeah, Nora, it's XFI, I guess, is that the token? But anyway, I hope Flare succeeds. I don't think they will, because their products are kind of dumb. But you know what? They could have a sea change. They could get together, have a meeting. They could go to Zurich. They could have a meeting and determine that perhaps it's time for a change in the focus and the mentality and the direction of the company, and perhaps create something that is wonderful. I don't think they will, but they could. So I like the people at Flare. Anyway, AGIX, Flow, COTI. What do we know about COTI? Well, COTI has not been performing, right? But we don't know what DeFi is going to look like on Cardano. We really don't know what DeFi is going to look like yet, just period. It does keep absorbing money. And some of these DeFi products, well, certainly with every catastrophe in DeFi, we get closer and closer to really good, solid projects. The fact that the people at Cardano trust COTI enough to work on a project with them makes me trust them more. We don't know who the winners are. But my guess is that if they have a close personal relationship with the people at IOHK or IOG or whatever we're calling it now, and the Cardano Foundation, and they're putting out the DEGED stablecoin and all this, that there is some merit to that. And the people there don't just react, right? Like the people at Cardano and that entire team, that ecosystem of developers and scientists and data scientists and, all of these mathematicians and people and these kind of really formal methods driven philosophy leads me to believe that they have looked at the team at COTI and they believe in that team. And if they believe in that team, I'm going to quasi leverage their opinion. And I'm going to say that the people at COTI are going to do quite well. I don't know. The thing about DeFi that's weird is you have a lot of competitors right now to be the swap, the Sunday swaps and all this kind of stuff, to be the platform on Cardano, on running on the back of ADA that lends and creates. But my guess is an AI-based product will be better than all of them that also runs on the back of Cardano. Yes? So cool. And DeFi in a nutshell, best is best served cold. What is DeFi? DeFi, I actually had made a couple of little plaques. We're going to do a whole we did a whole DeFi thing one time. But the main thing, what's an easy way? I'm just saying real quick if I have any of those banners left. See, I make these banners and you can keep them or you can dump them, but you can only have a certain amount. Okay. How would we describe DeFi for the average person? Well, what is the DeFi? The term came from decentralized finance. You say, well, it could be anything, right? Decentralized, but there is true decentralization. There's marginal decentralization. They're gradients, right? Like you could have a Hedera or a Ripple net, which is not at all decentralized, and it's managed by a very, very small group of people. EOS is the same way when you really look at it with the block producers and all that. It's a small group of individuals that pass transactions. And that's fine if you trust that group. I'm not a hater. There are certain scenarios, many scenarios in business where probably a closed ledger with a series of different permissions of auditability and viewability and editability makes a lot of sense, right? You don't have to disclose everything to everyone, especially a business that might have some proprietary systems in place for managing the business, running the business, and blah, 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 right? I get it. But if you have a company that manages currency units that's putting out financial products for other people, specifically and mostly lending, right? So you say, okay, we're going to lend. We're going to be better than banks. Awesome. We're going to be decentralized to some degree. You're not completely decentralized because that would be a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization, which would be completely decentralized. So maybe we should be hoping for DAOFi, right? Some kind of really autonomous banking network. The problem is, if it's truly autonomous, who do you cry to when something goes wrong? Who do you cry to when you lose your keys, you lose your this, you lose your that? It's not so simple. But the basic theory is decentralized finance. It's an ecosystem of these blockchain-based or distributed database applications and offerings that create a range of financial services similar to those provided by traditional banks, insurance brokers, and other financial intermediaries. Does that make sense? So DeFi would be an ecosystem of distributed data-based applications that offer a range of financial services that are typically provided by banks, insurance companies, and other financial intermediaries. It's just taking legacy financial products, doing a crypto version using some of the cool software, technology, consensus algorithms, and the things that we understand about distributing databases and protecting that data. It's just applying that to ease frictions in the financial system. And the cool thing is, when you ease frictions in the financial system, you become more inclusive. You include people that got left behind, which is so many. A lot of people got left behind. A lot of people continue to be left behind. And this is why what Cardano is doing, and other companies too, I'm going to give it to Stellar because they're also involved to a fair degree in Africa. But come on, you put the team at Stellar against the team at Cardano. That's not a fair, right, comparison, but good for them. Good for you, little guy. Anyway, the fact that they're going in and trying to create all of these means to onboard Africa and its inhabitants to the world of finance, to microloans, to lending, to medical, school, financial identity, voting, governance, all of these things in a safe, immutable, transactable way with these different data structures. That's important. That's very important. So if you're philanthropic, even if you hate crypto and you're a philanthropist, you should like Cardano, just specifically, because they're doing what you as a philanthropist and your brethren have been trying to do for, 50 years. Hopefully we are basically good, benevolent creatures that like the idea of inclusion. And we don't want to say F that whole country and the biggest cohort of millennials on the planet, because once they're included into this society of finance, we won't be able to go pillage their land and steal all of their crap. Hopefully that's not what camp you're in. Hopefully you're in the I would love to include everyone camp, right? Well, whatever camp you're in, good for you. But that's DeFi. An ecosystem of blockchain-based applications offers a range of financial services similar to those provided by traditional banks, insurance brokers, and other financial intermediaries. Book it. Okay, let's keep going. Let's talk about some fun stuff right here. No, do we want Dean? No. Let's talk about MTGOX. Okay, great. See, I don't want to see the details. Let me refresh this page. Okay, MTGOX creditors get billions. Mother effer. Take me back to the homepage. What in the F? It keeps, let me see. Here's what we'll do. I'm going to read it to you. We can't see it because these dicks want me to sign up for their service, which we're not going to do. We're not signing up for their service because it's not news. If everybody has the news, that doesn't make it news. You gotta be special, bro, to get me to sign up for news that's not news. Okay, well, luckily, one of my friends sent me the article. And I'm going to put it right here, and I'm just going to read it because for whatever reason, on the phone, you can still read it. Creditors elect to receive about 90% of the assets owed. Trustee announcement didn't include distribution date. I have heard since then it's about 60 to 90 days out. Max. Now, one thing that a lot of people that are panicking about Bitcoin, let's go to, this is a Bitcoin-centric story. So let's talk Bitcoin. A lot of people are panicking. Oh, no. People are going to get their coins. They're going to go sell them on the market. Oh, no. No, man. A lot of people have already pre-sold these tokens. A lot of the some institutional money, Mike Novogratz and some other people had already approached a lot of these early investors. They've already purchased those tokens. They're just waiting to receive them. They will warehouse them. Those tokens are never touching the market. So don't overreact with this. Oh, it's time to sell Bitcoin. Well, it may be time to sell Bitcoin, but make sure you're selling it for the right reasons because you've lost faith in it. You don't have any patience and you don't want to wait for it to hit $10 million token in the next 9 years. Make sure you run through that process before you sell it to save $340 because you're a trader and you're looking at the reversed hairpin Bart Simpson on meth graph and it looks like the Fibonacci just vomited on the shut up. All right. Trustee announcement didn't include distribution date, but we know it's going to be in the next 90 days-ish. Japanese trustee for the defunct cryptocurrency exchange MTGOX said creditors have approved a plan that will eventually lead to the distribution of more than 9 billion in Bitcoin. I think about 8 or 7 billion has already been purchased and sucked out of the market and is basically on a balance sheet that will end up in the hands of Galaxy, will end up in the hands of Coin something. They actually started a company, I think a specific company that buys these tokens that has already paid people. They had a certain time. They said, listen, this is the price of Bitcoin. We'll go ahead and pay you guys right now. Here you go. And they've already been paid. So there's a lot of people that are MTGOX creditors that have already signed over their rights to these coins. These coins aren't going to be sold. 90% of these tokens are not touching the market. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Creditors can elect to receive about 90% of the assets owed to them under the proposal that was ratified by the majority, according to the English language version of the announcement dated October 20th. The plan was sent to Tokyo District Court, which made a confirmation order on the proposal. The trustee didn't say Wednesday when the distributions would be made. MTGOX was once the world's biggest Bitcoin exchange until it closed in early 2014. This was, by the way, a few days after Leroy and I and some other people got back from we were living in San Francisco at the time. We got back from a hackathon where Leroy and his team built an early exchange. It was actually pretty dope. They built like an exchange and all this. And then right after that, we were like, whoa, maybe crypto sucks. Anyway, some of the holdings have subsequently been found. Yeah, been found. Oh yeah. Here's 2,000. Here's 200,000 Bitcoin I just found. Thanks, Mark. You just found them because you have handcuffs on, right? You couldn't find them before, but now because of the handcuffs, you found them. It's weird. I guess we find a lot of things when we have handcuffs on, huh? Anyway, any payout is expected to be a fraction of the original amount. Well, yeah, look, if they got paid 99%, that too is a fraction. So be careful of the wording. Don't get caught up in the wording. The trustee held a trove of 141,686 Bitcoins, as well as Bitcoin. Is it mini Bitcoin or coins? How do we pluralize it? I don't know. As well as cash and Bitcoin Cash, of course, all the forks. As of September 2019, according to the prior documents, Tokyo-based MT GOX suspended all trading and went offline in February 2014 after losing 850,000 Bitcoin, valued at around 500 million at that time. At that time. You want to do the math on 850,000 Bitcoin at this time? Whew, crazy. Anyway, Bitcoin held by the trustee are valued at more than $9 billion. That's for the 141,686 plus the Bitcoin trash and the other stuff. I like how they don't even mention BSV. It's so unmentionable that they don't even mention it as an asset that they got for free. Anyway, based on the record high of more than 66,000 registered Wednesday for Bitcoin yesterday, it's a date every market participant needs to keep their eye on. Portfolio manager at Block Tower Capital says, okay, he thinks it's going to be a big deal. Will likely be significant volatility around the event. Yeah, I think we saw it around the news around the event. This stuff gets priced in very quickly. Will be significant volatility around the event. And if Bitcoin is overheated, it could mark a local top as holders finally able to take profits on their positions. Well, let me just throw this over to Avi. Avi, buddy, you're in the crypto space, so this should make a lot of sense to you. People can sell whenever they want. You know that, right? It's not just when you tell them they can sell, when you tell your clients they're allowed to sell. The cool thing about crypto is that each and every one of you can sell whenever the F you want, not just when Avi tells you it's okay for you to sell. So thanks, Avi. Thanks for the permission slip. These dudes, man. There's a kind of arrogance, right? Like a kind of arrogance embedded in these dudes. Listen, I'm going to tell you, you don't tell me shit, Avi. I'll sell whatever I want, whenever I want, and I'll pay the tax man. How about that? You stay in your stupid little tower and continue to misrepresent to your clients your gains. How about that? All right. Fortress Investment Group, LLC. I think Fortress, had been offering creditors an earlier but lower payout than was being considered under the trustee-backed proposal that was filed in the Tokyo District Court. So, cool. There we go. There's the MT GOX news. Let's get past that. Is it going to be a big event? I don't think it's going to be that big of an event. I think we've seen most of it priced in. But we live in a market with a lot of people that are very shaky. And remember, even if institutional traders don't mess with the tokens, you will have retail traders. There's be a little panic because I'm going to say this. I don't want to offend anyone. Your retail trader in the crypto space, Joe Sixpack, has less financial savvy than people that do it for a living. That makes sense. Every one of you probably has a skill that the rest of us are not as good at because you do it for a living. You are good at it. We are not. There you go. All right. So institutional traders, they may trade around this. This is when you might use some of the ancillary products that might pivot off of the BITO, the ProShares offering. So you might sell some calls around here. If you way out of the money calls and just eat that, you might buy some, put options on BITO if they're out there. I'm not the idiots that are going to be trading. Now, remember, the BITO, the ProShares offering, that ETF, which we're going to talk about in a second, is not NOT based on the current spot price. So spot machinations will have a more muted effect on futures markets where you're looking a month out. And right now, I still think we're in pretty deep contango, especially after this little sell-off right now. Meaning that the forward month contract the price is higher than it is right now. That is contango. Backwardation would be the reverse of that, where the forward month contract would be lower, right? Which is actually, it's kind of healthy, but that's fine. Never mind. Let's not get into that. This was really funny. Not funny, but kind of funny. So DM tells senators on the warpath over Novi, we're not actually Facebook. In a response letter from the US calling on Facebook to halt its stablecoin and crypto, they think that Mark Zuckerberg's like behind. You guys realize Mark Zuckerberg's not evil, right? You realize he's just a dude. He's not like he's not an awful dude. He's just a dude, right? Victor, I was just talking you earlier, man. I called you and all your friends that were buying the Bito offering dumb, even though you're probably the best chiropractor in the whole Los Angeles. But don't buy the ProShares ETF unless you understand futures markets. All right. He's slime. Okay, I'm guessing that you're saying he's slime, and that's Mark Zuckerberg. I would be careful, just in general, to label a lot of these guys, gals, individuals. A lot of people don't like Cathie Woods. We hate her. Why? Why? She's smart. I hate smart women. She's smart, dude. She's so smart. Like, what's not to like about Cathie Woods? A lot of people don't like Zuckerberg, but a lot of that, if we're being honest, is a little bit of class hatred. It's a scam, man. He sells everything. Everybody sells everything. What do you think Google does? Google's been selling you as a product forever. I hate Sergey and Larry. What do you think Apple does? Oh, Tim. You'll use the device, though. You'll use Google. You'll use Facebook. I hate them. Dude, they made our lives better. And they got rich in the process. Bravo. Hashtag American Dream. Raw materials for a finished product for profit. Don't hate, bro. People, at least the people that hate me hated me when I was poor. It's not a class thing. All right. So in response to a letter from the U.S. calling on Facebook to halt its stablecoin and crypto wallet projects. Why? Real quick, because they are scared of Facebook becoming the biggest retail bank on earth on day one, which is, something to obviously factor in. DM stated, it's not Facebook. We are an independent organization. And you know what's great or kind of funny or kind of heartbreaking? This has been the case the entire time. The second Facebook learned that this was going to be a headache, they spun this off in it was its own project before it was made public 2 years ago. It's always been its own project. Like, always. Anyway, stablecoin project DM has distanced itself from Facebook in response to senators calling for immediate cessation of the firm's Novi crypto wallet. You know why? All these senators, my guess, if we were to look at their DNA and their lobbying and who pays their bills and who takes them on boat rides and fancy luncheons, you guys think it's the banks? You think it's the big banks? You think big money, Jamie Dimons and those idiots, you think they're part of this discussion? Come on, man. DM also claimed senior regulators had called it the best designed stablecoin project that the U.S. government had seen. Interesting. In a Tuesday letter sent to Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg, right, they're like, Mark, you got to stop this. Hey, Mark, also, I've got a rash. I have these itches. You got to stop making itch. What? Mark, the sun, it's paralyzing. I'm getting a sunburn. You need to stop with the sunburn. Bro, Mark Zuckerberg is not all of Earth's evils. Come on. In a Tuesday letter sent to Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg, the senators, including crypto critic Elizabeth Warren, voiced she's not super critic. She's critical. I don't know if she's a critic anymore. She's definitely critical. Voiced their strongest opinion to Facebook's revived effort to launch cryptocurrency and digital wallet. Earlier that day, the Novi wallet was launched in partnership with Coinbase with a pilot in the United States and Guatemala to enable users to buy, send, and receive Pax dollars, which, by the way, real quick, cool, fun trivia, is the only collateralized token of US dollar. It's the only one-to-one pegged asset. Period. Full stop. Pax. You guys know that? Anyway, kind of cool, right? DM's response to the letter stated that senators had misunderstood the relationship between DM and Facebook while also distancing itself from the Novi wallet pilot. DM is not Facebook. We are an independent organization, and Facebook's Novi is just one of more than 24 members of the DM association. Novi's pilot with Paxos is unrelated to DM. Sorry, bro. Wrong company. Send the letter somewhere else. So, yeah, man. So there we go. I'm not going to go through the rest of it because you get it. DM is not Novi. Novi is one of many products and many organizations that have some input, some muted input on the future of Diem, but Diem is its own project. Okay, cool. And last but not least, JP Morgan says inflation concerns, not ETFs, are driving the Bitcoin price jump. Right, because JP Morgan knows. This is the same JP Morgan who steers that ship. Oh, that's right, Jamie Dimon. That's weird. Jamie Dimon hates Bitcoin, and then he didn't hate it, and then he did hate it. And while he hated it, and while he threatened anyone at JP Morgan that owned Bitcoin, they'd be fired, somehow some of his traders didn't hear that worked for JP Morgan, and they put over 10,000 Bitcoin on the balance sheet during his conversation about firing employees. Not made up. This is the craziest part. It's not made up. While he was saying, you'll be fired if you use Bitcoin, you'll be fired if you trade Bitcoin, no one, they bought 10,000. Oh, I'd have to see the numbers. It was 2 big purchases. They bought exposure to Bitcoin. He got sued, by the way. He had to settle, by the way. Anyone remember this? It's not too long ago. So JP Morgan strategists say that interest in the newly launching Bitcoin ETF could cool after a week or so. Yeah, it should cool, but not because of what they're saying. They got it wrong, but they may be right. Is it a distinction without a difference? Maybe. Do you want to be right or do you want to be rich? Bitcoin broke all-time highs, as we know, with the launch of the Pro shares, which absorbed, by the way, it absorbed $1 billion. It's pretty cool. Bitcoin Strategy Exchange Traded Fund, ETF, BITO. Remember, it's cash settled, not spot, which means there's no obligation for delivery or to accept Bitcoin. So it shouldn't really move the Bitcoin market at all. It's more of a psychological event, but it's the first step in a long journey towards, or maybe it's the first step in a short journey towards a spot settled, physically settled, or a spot pegged, physically settled ETF, which would be a good product. And if you own GBTC, that's going to pivot into the product that we're talking about. That is the superhero ETF that we need. There we go. JP Morgan Chase strategists believe the key driver behind the price jump is investor concern over inflation. Maybe. I don't think so. I don't think there's a key driver. I think there are thousands of key drivers. I think there is so much information that to assume you can peg it to one thing is a little bit flawed, but let's read on. Lest we not judge. The BITO launch, which saw the highest ever first day natural volume for any ETF. Pretty cool, right? See how we keep handing the traditional financial system their ass, one backhand after the next. But people don't like Cathie Woods. She doesn't know what she's talking about except for the 46x she's done on her accounts. What does she know? I mean, she knows how to make you rich. I know that. I like Cathie. She's dope. Anyway, unlikely to trigger a new phase. This ETF is unlikely to trigger a new phase of significantly more fresh capital entering Bitcoin. Well, no S, dummies. It can't. The BITO ETF is just an advertisement for Bitcoin. You wouldn't have to bring new capital entering Bitcoin to entering the ETF. However, they're already wrong in the statement. It's unlikely to trigger a new phase of significantly more fresh capital entering Bitcoin. Right, but the ETF absorbed $1 billion. Is the most successful launch ever. So what are they talking about? Well, it's unlikely that new money will come in. Oh, you mean other than the $1 billion that happened yesterday? Got it. Other than that new money, other than being, by the way, more successful than any JP Morgan ETF that has ever launched ever. So other than being more successful than everything you've ever done at JP Morgan, right? Other than that, then that, but from here forward, right? Like you lose 99 matches, you lose 99 soccer games. Listen, from here forward, you will never score another goal until the next goal. Got it. Great. Instead, JP Morgan believes that as gold failed to respond to concerns over rising costs, this is a whole thing. I'd love to get in a room with these douchebags. All right, JP Morgan believes as gold failed to respond to concerns over rising cost pressures in the past couple of weeks. Oh, right, listen, JP Morgan's time horizon for this analysis is 2 weeks. Really? Bitcoin's renewed role as a better hedge against inflation in the eyes of investors is the main reason for the current bull run. Right. Because so many people understand inflation right now. Oh, eggs and gasoline are more expensive. I'm going to buy the Bitcoin. Please, dude. It might be a talked about theme or meme among, maxis and stuff like that. But no one's saying inflation, therefore Bitcoin, there in the last 2 weeks because gold, right? Look at that transitive argument. Well, I'm going to leave gold and buy Bitcoin because eggs. What? Come on, man. The team, there's a team. This means it wasn't one idiot. This is the best part. There was a bunch of JP Morgan idiots. I like it when there's several idiots involved. Then I don't feel like I'm levering. I'm weighing too heavy, on any one individual. There's a whole team of people that don't get it. And you want to know how bad they don't get it? Go listen to Making Sense by Jeff Snyder and Emil Kalinowski. Start at the first episode and work your way up if you want to see how bad they don't get it. And the problem is when you look at intelligent individuals that put out public statements where they clearly don't get it, you have to wonder, is it that they completely don't get it? Or is it that they choose to steer the conversation in ways that might be beneficial to them, or that might protect their interests, or that might make them less, or at least perceived to be less terrible at the job of banking, at the whole? Ugh. The team highlighted that the shift away from gold ETFs into Bitcoin funds has been gathering speed since September and supports a bullish outlook for Bitcoin in the year end. Right. But they, them, sis, theirs, zays. I don't know what the pronouns go there. They didn't give us enough pronoun inclusion information. But they just said that it was overpriced. But now it's good. The JP Morgan strategist exemplified the waning interest. Okay, so now we're back on waning interest, right? The last sentence was supports a bullish outlook for Bitcoin into year end. But now we're bullish again. But then we're bearish again on literally the next sentence. The JP Morgan strategist exemplified the waning interest after the first week following the launch of the purposeful Bitcoin ETF BTCC in Canada, because there's 16 people that played that in Canada. No one, honestly, no offense if you're Canadian, dude, no one cares about a Canadian financial product, you rubes. Sorry, Canada. Cool thing that you created Ashley Madison so that 90% of your culture can cheat on their spouses. I get it. It's cold. It's boring. You drink. There ain't nothing to do. Okay, cool. But guess what? The world doesn't pivot off of Canada's Bitcoin financial products. Eesh. Claiming that the initial hype surrounding Bitto could also fade after a week. Yeah, of course it's not going to be $1 billion a day. These dudes, they make these statements, after the sun goes down, it's likely that the temperature goes lower. Oh, really? Did the group of monkeys over there with probes, and did you guys come up with that all on your own? This insight, these pearls? I love these dudes. Anyway, I'm not going to read on because there's a bunch of retards. Okay, sorry. It's not mentally handicapped. It's handy capable. JP Morgan analysts are handy capable. Okay, and on that, let's call it a day. You guys have a good one. I got to go work out with my buddy Steve. It's back in biceps day. The Bitcoin is doing just fine. Don't stress. Stay in school. Don't do anything my poor insolvent drunk strung it on meth grandmother wouldn't do. And you know what she would do? Because I'm not serving you crappy commercials that you have to wait and thumb through. Click like. Just click the like button. Show us that you care. And yeah, we'll see you soon.
Hey, this is the Profit with Nick Black. It's time to chit chat. You know nothing about blockchain. We here to fix that. You want the news on them new stocks? This where you get that. So go and grab you a nice chair. It's time to sit back and talk to Profit. Hey, hey, you talking to the Profit? Hey, hey. We talking condos and nice clothes and dropping Lambos. I remember them night codes, we couldn't stand those. We tried to drop on them house roads, but had to stay low. Now there's solutions to hard bills we couldn't pay for. I talked to Profit to get some profit, we couldn't change the top. If it's a stock and I need a cop it, I wait for him to drop it. Ain't no option, let's get it popping. We chilling in the drop. I need some crypto, put it in my pocket by any means I rock. This is the Profit with Nick Black. It's time to chit chat. You know nothing about blockchain, we here to fix that. You want the news on them new stocks, this where you get that. So go and grab you a nice chair. It's time to sit back and talk to Profit. Hey, hey, you talking to the Profit? Hey, hey, you talking to the Profit?
It's all fake news. It's phony stuff. It didn't happen.